Good morning, class 7. Today we will do a new chapter in supplementary reader, bringing up Kari. The chapter is about an elephant. Kari, a 5-month-old baby elephant, lives and grows up with his 9-year-old friend and keeper. Kari doesn't eat much, just about 16 kilograms of delicious twigs a day. Playful and sensitive, Kari saves a boy from drowning. Kari the elephant was 5 months old when he was given to me to take care of. Here, me stands for the writer. I was 9 years old and I could reach his back if I stood on tiptoe. That means the elephant was so big and the writer was so small that if he stood on his toes, only then he could reach the elephant's back. He seemed to remain that high for nearly 2 years. We grew together. That is probably why I never found out just how tall he was. He lived in a pavilion under a thatched roof which rested on thick tree stumps so that it could not fall in when Kari bumped against the poles as he moved about. So the house of Kari, the place where Kari used to stay, it was made up of thatched roof which rested on thick tree stumps. They were so strong that the thatched roof would not fall when Kari went inside against the poles as he moved about. One of the first things Kari did was to save the life of a boy. Kari did not eat much, but he nevertheless needed 40 pounds of twigs a day to chew and play with. Every day I used to take him to the river in the morning for his bath. He would lie down on the sand bank while I rubbed him with the clean sand of the river for an hour. I hope you know, children, that elephants enjoy taking bath. They enjoy being in water. After that, he would lie in the water for a long time. On coming out, his skin would be shining like ebony, and he would squeal, means cry or trumpet, with pleasure as I rubbed water down his back. Then I would take him by the ear because that is the easiest way to lead an elephant, and leave him on the edge of the jungle while I went into the forest to get some luscious twigs. Luscious means juicy, tasty. Luscious twigs for his dinner. One has to have a very sharp hatchet to cut down these twigs. Now see, what is a hatchet? It is a small axe used to cut twigs or trees. It takes half an hour to sharpen the hatchet because if a twig is mutilated, an elephant will not touch it. Mutilated means if it was torn, if it was destroyed in any sense, then elephant will not eat it. It was not an easy job to get twigs and saplings for Kari. I had to climb all kinds of trees to get the most delicate and tender twigs. As he was very fond of the young branches of the banyan tree, which grows like a cathedral of leaves and branches, I was gathering some one spring day in March when I suddenly heard Kari calling to me in the distance. As he was still very young, the call was more like that of a baby than an elephant. I thought somebody was hurting him, so I came down from my tree and ran very fast to the edge of the forest where I had left him. but he was not there. I looked all over, but I could not find him. I went near the edge of the water and I saw a black something struggling above its surface. Then it rose higher and it was the trunk of my elephant. I thought he was drowning. The writer thought that Kari was drowning in the river. I was helpless because I could not jump into the water and save the 400 pounds of him since he was much higher than I. But I saw his back rise above the water, and the moment he caught my eye, he began to trumpet and struggle up to the shore. Then, still trumpeting, he pushed me into the water, and as I fell into the stream, I saw a boy lying flat on the bottom of the river. So, what was Kari doing in the water? Kari was trying to save the boy who was about to drown. Kari himself was not drowning, but he was trying to save the boy, a little boy who was about to drown in the water. He had not altogether touched bottom but was somewhat afloat. He was floating on the water surface. He had not touched the bottom of the water. I came to the surface of the water to take my breath, and there Kari was standing, his feet planted in the sand bank and his trunk stretched out like a hand waiting for me. So Kari was eagerly waiting for his master to come and help that boy so that it might not drown. I am reading this again. I came to the surface of the water to take my breath, and there Kari was standing, his feet planted in the sand bank and his trunk stretched out like a hand waiting for mine. I dived down again and pulled the body of the drowning boy to the surface. I am reading this again. I dived down again. The writer again dived down into the river and pulled the body of the drowning boy to the surface. But not being a good swimmer, I could not swim ashore. And the slow current was already dragging me down. The slow current means the flow of water was slow and it was dragging the writer down in the water again. Seeing us drift by in the current, Kari, who was usually slow and ponderous, suddenly darted down like a hawk and came halfway into the water, where I saw him stretch out his trunk. As soon as Kari realized that his master had some difficulty in saving the drowning boy because there was no flow in the water, the current of the water was slow. So what did Kari do? Like a hawk is the name of a bird. Like a hawk, he darted into the river. He again put his body inside the river and came halfway into the water, where I saw him stretch out his trunk. He stretched out his trunk once again, so that with the help of the trunk, the master of Kari, or the writer, could save the drowning boy. I raised up my hand. I raised up my hand to catch it. Catch it means catch the trunk of Kari. And it slipped. I found myself going under the water again. But this time I found that the water was not very deep, so I sank to the bottom of the river and doubled my feet under me, and then suddenly kicked the river bed and so shot upwards like an arrow, in spite of the fact that I was holding the drowning boy with my hand. As my body rose above the water, I felt a lasso around my neck. Lasso meaning is given, rope with a noose at the end. This frightened me. I thought some water animal was going to swallow me. I heard Kari squealing, and I knew it was his trunk about my neck. He pulled us both ashore. So, with the help of Kari's trunk, the drowning boy could be saved by the writer. Kari becomes fond of ripe bananas. Maybe, children, you have heard or you have seen that elephants love eating bananas. He believes in self help, much to the discomfort of his friend. With quiet dignity, Kari accepts the chiding he knows he deserves. Now let us see, what does Kari do? Kari was like a baby. He had to be trained to be good, and if you did not tell him when he was naughty, he was up to more mischief than ever. So the writer says that like small children are naughty, in the same way Kari was also a naughty elephant, and when he did some mischief, he had to be scolded, he had to be told that he has done some mistake, otherwise he became naughtier day by day. For instance, one day somebody gave him some bananas to eat. Very soon, he developed a great love for ripe bananas. We used to keep large plates of fruit on a table near a window in the dining room. One day, all the bananas on that table disappeared, and my family blamed the servants for eating all the fruit in the house. Nobody could even imagine that Kari could have stolen the bananas from the table. Everybody suspected the servants working in the house. A few days later, the fruit disappeared again. This time, the blame was put on me, and I knew I had not done it. What was the blame? Again, when the bananas disappeared or the fruits disappeared, then the writer himself was blamed. Everybody suspected that the writer had done that mischief. But it made me very angry with my parents and the servants, and I was sure they had taken all the fruit. Now the writer, since he had not done any mistake, so he was very angry that his parents were suspecting him, and he also said that it must be the servants of the house who are stealing the fruits. The next time the fruit disappeared, I found a banana all smashed up in Kari's pavilion. Now, how it was found out that Kari was doing it? One day, one banana was found in the place where Kari used to stay, in Kari's pavilion. This surprised me very much, for I had never seen fruit there, and as you know, he had always lived on twigs. The writer was very surprised to see the banana there, because till now he had always seen Kari eating twigs, and he had never seen a banana before this. Next day, while I was sitting in the dining room, wondering whether I should take some fruit from the table without my parents' permission, a long black thing, very much like a snake, suddenly came through the window and disappeared with all the bananas. Now, children, you can see the picture made on this page. You can see that the writer is standing near the window. The fruits are kept in a basket, and something looking like a snake is coming near the window, and he is taking away all the bananas. I was very much frightened. The writer was frightened. He has never seen such a thing before, because I had never seen snakes eat bananas. but I thought it must be a terrible snake that would sneak in and take fruit. Now he was thinking, because the trunk was looking like a snake. So the writer thought that, my goodness, there's a big snake who is doing this. And he had never heard or he had never seen snakes eating bananas. I crept out of the room and with great fear in my heart ran out of the house, feeling sure that the snake would come back into the house, eat all the fruit, and kill all of us. The writer thought that this snake is a very dangerous snake. One day he will again come, eat all the fruits, and he will kill the family members. As I went out, I saw Kari's back disappearing in the direction of the pavilion, and I was so frightened that I wanted his company to cheer me up. Now, when the writer came out to see which snake was there, where was the snake going with the fruits, he saw that Kari was disappearing into his pavilion, and he wanted Kari's company so that he could make himself happy. I ran after him into the pavilion and I found him there eating bananas. Now he was shocked. When the writer reached Kari's pavilion, he was shocked to see that Kari was comfortably eating bananas there. I stood still in astonishment. He was surprised. He stood still in surprise. The bananas were lying strewn all around him. He stretched out his trunk and reached for one far away from where he was standing. He stretched out his trunk and reached for one far away from where he was standing. That means he stretched his trunk and tried to take the banana, which was kept at some distance. That instant, the trunk looked like a black snake, and I realized that Kari was the thief. Now he understood that it was not any snake, it was Kari who was stealing the bananas. I realized that Kari was the thief. I went to him, pulled him out by the ear, and joyously showed my parents that it was Kari and not I that had eaten all the fruit these many weeks. Then I scolded him, for elephants understand words as well as children. That means, as children understand words, similarly, elephants also understand. And I said to him, next time I see you stealing fruit, you will be whipped. That means you will be beaten if I see you next time stealing fruits. He knew that we were all angry with him, even the servants. His pride was so injured that he never stole another thing from the dining room. And from then on, if anybody gave him any fruit, he always squealed as if to thank him. An elephant is willing to be punished for having done wrong, but if you punish him without any reason, he will remember it and pay you back in your own coin. That means, if he has done a mistake and you punish him, then it's okay. But if you punish him for no reason, if it is not his mistake, then he will take his revenge. Kari is a fast learner. He masters all signals. Masters here means he learns all signals and sounds he is taught. There is one lesson though that an elephant takes 5 years to learn. Kari is no exception. Let us see, what does Kari learn? An elephant must be taught when to sit down, when to walk, when to go fast, and when to go slow. You teach him these things as you teach a child. If you say Dhat and pull him by the ear, he will gradually learn to sit down. Similarly, if you say Mali and pull his trunk forward, he will gradually learn that it is a signal to walk. Kari learned Mali after 3 lessons, but it took him 3 weeks to learn Dhat. He was no good at sitting down. And do you know why an elephant should be taught to sit down? Because he grows taller and taller than you who take care of him, so that when he is 2 or 3 years old, you can only reach his back with a ladder. So if you want to take care of him, you will have to make him sit down. Otherwise, he will become taller than you, he will become bigger than you, and it will be difficult for you to reach up to him. It is therefore better to teach him to sit down by saying dhat, so that you can climb upon his back. For who would want to carry a ladder or around all the time? If you will not make him learn to sit down, then you will have to climb the ladder to reach his back, and it is impossible to carry a ladder all the time with you. So if you want to climb the back of the elephant, you will have to make him learn to sit down. The most difficult thing to teach an elephant is the master call. Now, this is the thing which takes time. The most difficult thing to teach an elephant is the master call. He generally takes 5 years to learn it properly. It is a time-taking task to make him learn the master call. The master call is a strange, hissing, howling sound, as if a snake and a tiger were fighting each other. And you have to make that kind of noise in his ear. And do you know what you expect an elephant to do when you give him the master call? If you are lost in the jungle and there is no way out, that means you don't know how to come out of the jungle, and everything is black except the stars above, you dare not stay very long anywhere. The only thing to do then is to give a master call, and at once the elephant pulls down the tree in front of him with his trunk. This frightens all the animals away. As the tree comes crashing down, monkeys wake from their sleep and run from branch to branch. You can see them in the moonlight, and you can almost see the stangs running in all directions below. You can hear the growl of the tiger in the distance. Even he is frightened. Then the elephant pulls down the next tree and the next and the next. Soon you will find that he has made a road right through the jungle straight to your house. So, how does the master call help? As soon as the elephant learns the master call, he tries to uproot the trees. When he uproots the tree, a lot of noise is made. This frightens all the animals present in the jungle. The tigers also run away. The monkeys also start running here and there. The stags also start running in all directions. And the elephant pulls down one tree after the other, one tree after the other, and gradually he makes a road for you, because he clears up the jungle by uprooting the trees, by pulling down the trees. So he makes a road right through the jungle to your house. In this way, if a person is lost in the jungle and he knows how to make a master call to the elephant, he can come out of the jungle very securely and very safely. So this is how we have seen how intelligent elephants can be, how intelligent elephants are, how much they can learn. They are good learners, they are intelligent animals, they are fond of bananas. They understand if you scold them for their mistake, and they will never repeat their mistakes again. But if you will scold them for no reason, then they will take their revenge. Now children, read the story once more and enjoy the experiences that the writer had with Kari. Thank you.